Hey guys, how's it going? So the governor of Michigan, yeah, people call her many things. Some people even call her Gretchen Whitmer. Look, she's looking to jack up your hunting licenses, fishing licenses, and not by a little bit, but percentage-wise, by a ton. This is an article I have here from the Detroit Free Press, and the author is Paul Egan. So we're going to get into this because it's actually kind of crazy and things could change drastically for hunters and fishermen in the state of Michigan if she gets her way. Before we get into this though, real quick, if you notice there's no ad read at the beginning of this video. That's because you all are my sponsors. So if you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links down there in the description. Also consider becoming a channel member for additional perks, and check out the 2A Edu community on Locals, as well as 2A Edu on Rumble, where I do bonus weekly live streams that are censorship free with a whole bunch of cool content that you're not going to see here. All right, so it looks like she's proposing more than $208 million in higher taxes and fees, and this is Gretchen Whitmer's state budget for 2026. This is what she's going to be proposing. It would need to pass the Republican-controlled House as well as the Senate. And I've been talking to a lot of reps and senators about this whole budget thing. I'm going to tell you this right away before I get into these crazy fee hikes. It's going to be a battle. So you're going to want to be getting a hold of those legislators, telling them no increases on hunting, no increases on fishing, because that's kind of what the Great Lakes state's known for and stuff, right? So she's wanting to jack up taxes on many, many things. There's a whole list. But let's get into the stuff that's kind of, gun related here with hunters. And keep in mind, this is with your bows and many other ways you would hunt as well. But let me know down in the comments, how many of you live in Michigan and hunt and fish? Actually, if you live in any other state, let me know if you're a hunter or fisherman as well. So, higher license fees in the Department of Natural Resources are the third biggest item of this proposed budget by the governor at $28.9 million, with $22 million coming from higher hunting and fishing fees, and $6.9 million coming from higher watercraft fees. Yeah, she's going after your boats too. Trust me. The state budget office last week released the details on those proposed increases, plus all other proposed tax and fee hikes included in the 2026 budget after repeated requests from the Free Press. Now let's get into these hunting licenses and notice how much of a percentage these are going up. We're going to notice something curious too as we go on. Whitmer's proposal would increase the base fee for small game hunting from $11 to $17 for resident adults, and $6 to $10 for resident minors. Now, going up from 11 to 17, that's over a 50% increase. And going from $6 to $10, that's literally almost double. And from $151 to $165 for non-residents. So for the non-residents, she only wants to increase it 10%. You're going to see this trend as we continue reading through. But for the actual residents, the hard-working people in the state of Michigan, hunters and fishermen, she wants to nail you percentage-wise a lot higher than out-of-state residents. And look, shout out to all the out-of-state residents. Actually, yeah, you're probably a lot happier in many ways than the in-state residents with this governor of Michigan. A combination hunting and fishing license would increase from $76 to $115 for residents. Wow, that's a huge increase. That's like over 50%, and they're jacking it up, what, about $40? Combination hunting and fishing license. Wow. Who's going to be able to afford to hunt and fish? You been to the grocery store lately? It's hard to afford groceries, and now you're not going to be able to afford to kill your own food. Combination hunting and fishing license from $76 to $115 for residents, and from $266 to $275 for non-residents. Oh, now she's going after the senior citizens. Wow. The cost of a base hunting license for seniors would more than double, from $5 to $13. For adult residents, the fee for a wild turkey hunting license would increase from $15 to $23, so another 50% price increase. And yet again, the fee for a waterfowl hunting license from $12 to $18. The fee for a pheasant hunting license from $25 to $38. The fee for a deer hunting license from $20 to $30. So again, 50% increases pretty much across the board here. The fee for a bear hunting license from $25 to $38. And the fee for an elk hunting license from $100 to $150. For seniors, the cost of a deer license would increase from $8 to $23. So they want to triple the price of a senior citizen's deer hunting license. Now we're going to get into the fishermen here. For an all-species fishing license, the budget would increase the fee from $26 to $40. So we're getting close to doubling it there for residents. And from $76 to $90 for non-residents. The cost for seniors would rise from $11 to $30. So we're tripling it for the seniors. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of extra things. Here's something I'll read real quick that isn't necessarily hunting and fishing, but this is where there's more devil in the details. Not only are they increasing the price for your boats and watercraft drastically, but here's something with the DNR recreational passport for entrance to state parks would hold steady at $14, but, here's the but, instead of opting in where they renew their license tabs, Michigan residents would be charged the fee unless they opt out. That change, if approved, is expected to generate an extra $17.2 million on top of the increased revenues from hunting, fishing, and watercraft fees. So when you go to renew your license tabs in Michigan, you have a little checkbox where you can check that you want to. Also have a recreational passport. It adds the $14 onto it, and you pay extra for your tabs, but now your vehicle's good to go for the year at the different, DNR recreational sites, state parks. There's different ones for metro parks. That's a completely separate fee, but you might be familiar with that. Well, in this case, they're just going to automatically add it onto everybody's. Even if you own like 2-3 vehicles in the family, and the one vehicle is the one that goes to the state park, so maybe you bought the extra tabs for that, but why would you want it on your other vehicles that'll never make their way into a state park for years? Just keep that in mind. You will automatically be charged an extra $14 on top of your registration, your license plate tabs every year, unless you go through the extra effort to go in and opt out of the system. Look, I'm not saying whether it's a bad idea, or I'm not saying it's a bad idea to support the state parks. $14 really isn't that much, and they are beautiful places to go and enjoy nature and fish, and in some cases you can hunt, in some cases you can't. It's kind of a mixed bag in Michigan with that. But sure, like, that's cool if you want to pay $14, but I hate it when governments put fees automatically into you, and you have to go through the extra effort to opt out. All right, well, here's just a short little video of some drastic hunting and fishing license increases. There's a whole lot more to it than that as well. And I urge you to get a hold of your Michigan representative and senator and tell them no to Gretchen Whitmer's $208 million in proposed higher taxes and fees, because we're already taxed to no end. It's super expensive to hunt and fish, even aside of the fees themselves. Now they're jacking the fees up 50% in many cases for our senior citizens, double and even triple in several cases the normal fees everyone's become accustomed to. I reject that. I hope you do too. And look, everyone that owns a gun and hunts is not really a big Second Amendment supporter. I mean, obviously, that's why we find ourselves in the shape we're in. It's my hope, and I'm trying to be very politely and give these people the benefit of the doubt. Let's talk about the FUDs for 2 seconds here. A FUD is actually in many ways more detrimental than an anti-2A activist. Because the FUD will say, well, yeah, I support the right to keep and bear arms, but you don't need anything more than a pump-action shotgun. If you can't hit a deer in 5 shells, you need better aim. You know those type that are like, you don't need an AR because a shotgun's all you need. Well, guess what? These people are getting smacked in the teeth too. All of the Second Amendment supporting hunters, a shout out to all of you. I know there's a ton of you out there, But even the non-Second Amendment supporting hunters are getting hit with this. With 50% to 100% to 2, even 300% pricing increases. Here's my hope. And let me know if there's any hope for a FUD. Let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to hear your answers. But it is my hope, my sincere hope, that maybe this could finally get some of the FUD's attention. And maybe they'll realize, whoa, enough's enough. They're coming after my deer hunting license, my all-species fishing license, my pheasant, my waterfowl, small game. Maybe they'll finally come around to our side and see that, yeah, we need to fight for the Second Amendment. For defense of ourselves, for the defense of a free state, defense of our country, and also, obviously, hunting would be included in that. And they are literally coming after the hunters, the governor and her office in Michigan. They're coming after the hunters and fishermen, like, right now. So let all your friends know about this, because a lot of normies aren't going to pay attention to this. They don't like politics, but then they're going to go get that hunting and fishing license and be like, what? I can't afford it anymore. I didn't know the price tripled. Your senior citizen friend or grandpa or whoever might say, who's on a fixed income. You know what I mean? So hopefully this brings some awareness. Share this channel and this video with all of your friends, and I will see you all again soon. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.